Hello, this is the voice of Dylan Flynn.
Hi, this is the voice of Trevor Ickrath.
And you are listening to the second to last, the penultimate episode of Wordle with Friends, the show where two friends and their mother do the Wordle.
We finally made it. It's been quite a long road, but yeah, this is the second to last time we'll ever be sitting down to record this little bad boy.
This is a big one. That when we were thinking about this finale series, this was the first one that I dreamed about, not being sure if it would really be in the cards or not. It seemed like a bit of a pipe dream.
Sure, but Dylan, all your dreams are coming true.
All of them, including not having to edit the show every day anymore. They're all coming true. She was on our show at the end of last year. She was everything we could have hoped to be. She was already kind of the third main character of the show at the time. The New York Times Wordle editor, Tracy Bennett, is here once again. Tracy, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Dylan. Hi, Trevor. It's wonderful to be here.
It's wonderful to have you back. We're so excited about this.
My heart is legitimately, and I say this with all earnestness, overflowing with joy. I am so happy about this.
Mine is too. I'm going to miss you so much.
I couldn't think of a better note to go out on than this.
Completely agree, Trevor. Completely agree. So it's not just to have her here and watch us do the Wordle this time, which was admittedly great.
Sure.
In its own strange voyeuristic way. But I thought, gosh, is there any way that Tracy could play this game? The problem, of course, being Tracy picks the word.
Yeah, how can you play Wordle when you're the one who is picking the word and therefore you know what the word is? You just can't do it.
That's the beauty of colleagues.
That's it. You don't work in a vacuum. You're allowed to say, hey, help me out. So how did this work exactly?
Well, Joel Faliano, who edits the Mini, one of the other puzzles on our New York Times suite of games.
Mini's great.
He agreed to step in, and he set up actually 2 weeks of words so I could play this week and next week.
Wow.
So you've been getting a little bit of practice in ahead of this one.
I have, but I'm mightily intimidated because when I've been listening to the show, I still can't figure out how you sometimes know where the letter the other person has gotten in place. I'm like playing along with you, and I'm like, I don't know how he knows. Oh, well, you've got that E in place now.
Just, a year's worth of day-to-day practice.
Is it more entertaining to the viewer if the New York Times Wordle editor comes on and is somewhat clueless about what's going on? I'd say yes.
Definitely.
Yes, and I think that is exactly what's going to happen.
So then you've been doing the Wordle now for a little while.
Yes.
Is there any revelation returning as a player? Are you feeling like I'm reminded of how hard this is or what this is like? Anything like that?
Yeah, I've even had that happen as still setting up the words because I try to figure out what words are going to be difficult for people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ones that I thought would be just blowing people away was sound,
right.
Sound. I thought that would be the hardest word that week for sure, because when you have OUND in place, that first letter has 8 possibilities. So there's a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
But that was actually the easiest word that week.
I got to round 6, so I was part of the outlier statistic.
I know, you were part of that.
It really all depends on what you play early on. If you find that S,
bingo,
round 1, you're going to be set. But if that's the last letter you find, you could be there for a while.
Yeah, and then, of course, Riper was...
Riper.
The most recent unpopular.
Yeah, I mean, were people mad?
There were a few people mad. It wasn't like Parer. It wasn't anything on that level. But some people said, well, we never play comparatives, but we do. We just don't have that many. There aren't that many to begin with, but we have played other comparatives.
When I thought back to Riper the next day, I think my fundamental issue with Riper, and I guess I'm just going to use this very precious time we have together to air my grievances to Tracy.
Settle some scores.
Is that I feel like humans discuss ripeness as a binary. Like you tend to think of a fruit as either being ripe or unripe, You're not usually comparing the general ripeness levels between ripe pieces of fruit. It's really a trinary, that's not a word, but it's unripe, ripe, overripe, and anything in between.
Yeah, you're stuck in the past. Nothing is a binary anymore. It's all a sliding scale now.
That's true. And also I can see that point of view, but you can still blame it on Josh and Paula.
Not Tracy's. Wasn't her call.
I'm still working on their list.
You would have approved Riper in a second. I know you, Tracy.
Yeah, that's true.
I know you would have.
I have actually added 8 words.
To the answers list or to the possible plays list?
to the possible play. No, to the answers list.
To the answers list. Okay. Because I was thinking like, gosh, I wonder if she'll ever add Tracy.
Well, is that not a proper noun?
I guess it's not technically kosher, but here's my excuse for how it could be. If you see a piece of art on the internet that looks like it was copied and you're like, I don't know, this picture of
Yeah.
Kiki Palmer looks kind of Tracy to me.
I could tell by how thin the paper is. It was clearly just put over an existing image. And
Yeah, it's kind of Tracy.
yeah.
She doesn't seem convinced, Trevor.
Well, maybe she just doesn't want to give away her hand. Maybe it's already in there.
That's true. I have a question, and it's a burning question. So I really love words. I love unusual words. I love etymology.
Oh, yeah.
And I got curious about the last name Ikrath.
Oh, cool.
So I looked it up on Google,
Wow.
and I'm like, there's no rabbit hole. The only person that comes up is you.
Wow.
And then
Wow.
these genealogy sites, when you click on them, they say, well, we don't have any information about
I'm just,
So I'm curious. I'm really curious.
I'm kind of like Winnie the Pooh's Tigger. I'm just a one-of-a-kind special animal, and there really is no precedence for me existing in the universe.
Can you give me an etymology?
The name Ikrath is Austrian in origin,
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Okay.
But that's really all I know about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm just a real special thing out here.
Well, thank you for clearing that up for me. I appreciate it.
To the extent that it could have been cleared.
Sorry, I can't do more.
Flynn is very easy. I mean, that's kind of obviously
Yeah, just generic.
Irish-ish.
We came over on the boats to flee the potato famine, and then we made a bunch of ourselves. We're all over the place.
Flynifer. No, too long. Your name is Flynn now.
Flynifer. It is Saturday, March 4th, 2023, and Trevor, I, and New York Times Wordle editor Tracy Bennett are about to attempt to solve Wordle number 623. So this is your warning to turn back now if you've not yet done today's puzzle, as there will be spoilers ahead.
I'm actually afraid I'm going to do a spoiler, like say the word out loud by accident if I get it.
Early on, Trevor and I had an awful time with that. We were constantly saying and then playing words. And fortunately, it never bit us especially bad, but it could have.
I feel like the full thing that we would do is we would say, I'm not going to say the word before I play it. And then we would say the word and then we would play it.
Yeah, we'd spend the whole episode every time saying it.
Okay, well, if I'm really, really quiet, I'm trying to do that.
Well, fortunately, Tracy, our practice is that we like to save the guest for last. It's an odd numbered Wordle. So Dylan is going to start us off today. Then I'll go and then you'll take that third spot.
I can confirm Tracy still not in word list. So instead, I'm going to play this extremely strategically sound opening word.
Awesome.
And I got 5 gray letters for playing the word mommy.
Oh.
I knew that's what you were going to play. I knew you were going to hit me with the triple letter.
You knew I did. I saw it in your eyes.
The worst, I was really bracing for a single green, and then I was going to have to figure out what M it was. But
I'm kind of employing the recent Ryan Hughes strategy of forcing the 3-player game to start slowly.
Yeah, let them come to you. So there's no M in this thing, that means.
I mean, there's certainly not 3.
Yeah, here we go. This is something that I'm looking forward to taking now that the show is almost over.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I got 2 green letters for playing the word break.
Nice.
E-A-K or A-K-E?
B-R-E-A-K.
He's also looking forward to taking a break when he snaps his neck after the show's over.
Every day.
Can you repeat the results of that?
I got 2 greens.
Ooh. Okay, so I'm supposed to take this information and be informed by it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna want to keep 2 of those letters in the same place.
I have a guess. I'm just going to keep the vowels.
Not a bad strategy.
You got your A and E.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Classic guys there.
There they are. I know already a few things, Trevor, by your result. I know, for example, that there is no 5th slot E.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
It is a little sad.
But I think having the 5th slot E and Tracy on the show in the same episode
too powerful.
Would have just been too exciting.
Yeah, too powerful.
Yeah, my heart would have given out.
Okay. I'm playing my word.
Oh boy.
I'm not saying it out loud.
No, not yet, of course.
Okay. I got 1 green letter and 1 yellow letter. And now I can say the word, right?
Yes.
That's right.
We're playing the word cheat.
Okay.
A nice games-based word.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not a nice games-based word, but a games-based word, certainly. Wonder which of those 2 you placed. Boy, Little hard for me to get an A there if there's not an E before it, I feel like. Not impossible, but a little hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the E and then something else from break and something else from cheat. Make something out of this, maybe? Okay, I have something I can play now, I think.
Okay.
That I think this is legal. It is a double, and I've already played a triple. So my board is not covering a lot of ground so far.
I think I might see the solve.
This guy thinks he sees the solve, which makes me nervous.
I think I might see the solve.
He's been on fire. He's been on fire the last month.
Kind of. I mean, and people are just not reporting on it.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that, Tracy?
I have. It's
How close are you to the people on the news breaking side of the New York Times, Tracy? What can you do to get Trevor in this paper?
far, far apart.
Yeah, bummer.
All right, I'm going to play this word, see what we get. I got 1 yellow letter and 2 green letters, and I played the word greet.
1 yellow, 2 greens, you said?
That's right.
I stopped taking notes on individual plays back when the actual scoring season ended, and since then I've just been flying by the seat of my pants.
I love
Oh.
that improvisational spirit.
Yeah, I'm going to play. I think the word that I think it is still okay with all the information we've accumulated. I'm going to play right now, and we'll see.
Okay.
5 green letters.
Whoa!
That feels good because you won the show last time Tracy was on. It's nice that I got to get a win this time.
That's excellent.
That's true. Now, has Tracy strayed enough, however, to tie in a sort of a round, what is this, 2?
Round 2, yeah. This would be a round 2 tie if Tracy manages to
Oh my God.
find this.
No pressure.
No, not at all.
I have a theory about the first 3 letters. So
All right. I also have a theory about the first 3 letters, but it doesn't go much deeper than that, my theory.
okay. I'm gonna try something.
All right, Tracy.
I don't think we've eliminated any of these other letters. Here we go.
All right.
5 green letters.
Oh,
Yeah, Tracy coming through. Love it.
That is respectable.
You and me in the round 2 solve club.
Yeah.
In your worst version of this episode in your mind, was it just going to be an absolute humiliation? You're
Yes.
going to go
Yeah.
5 rounds.
She X's out. She
Yep.
goes back to the Wordle offices the next day to find out she's been fired because of her performance on the show.
Well, I have to tell you though, my friend Lisa bought me or gave me a Giotto game. Have you ever played Giotto?
I like Giotto. Yeah, Giotto's cool.
It's got it's very similar.
Friend of the show, Chris Meyer, who hosts Chris Palslecki Movies, learned this game as Giotto, I guess backstage in community theater in his 20s.
So I have been flexing the muscles playing that game with her. So
Oh, there you go. That's smart. You
Yeah.
sort of, not a Wordle wannabe, because that's not fair to term Giotto as that since it's been around longer, but
It's a proto Wordle game.
a lateral Wordle game to keep yourself
Yes.
sharp.
Well, all that practice clearly paid off.
yay.
So I see something that I think I can play. It doesn't appear to break any rules. And it seems like a fairly normal word to me, so I think it has a good energy, and I'm going to give it a shot.
This solve is one that I would describe as a normal word for sure.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
That fills me with some confidence. I'm going to hit enter now for a round 3 loss, but maybe not, an embarrassing one.
Yeah.
Hey, 5 green letters. The word today was trend. Something that I'm sure you're looking at when you're trying to decide whether or not a word
Mhm.
deserves to be admitted.
That's correct.
Oh yeah, and something that those little green and yellow boxes that everybody would post would do every day on Twitter when Wordle was first taken off, right?
Good point
Right.
on social
Yeah.
media. I want to know if we can get an exclusive from you, Tracy. Is there expansion in Wordle's future?
I don't think in the next year there will be. They're actually focusing on other new games because Wordle is so successful as it is, and a lot of people actually want it to stay the way it is. Don't mess with a good thing. That's kind of the philosophy here, I think.
Makes sense. So we're probably still a few years out from the Wordle movie starring Chris Pratt as the 5th slot E.
Yes.
As Tracy Bennett?
That works even better.
I want to know what you guys are planning to do next.
Just chill, man. We're gonna relax.
Definitely take some time. That's going to be a big part of it for sure.
Do you think you'll do a different kind of podcast type of thing, or would you take a break from podcasts?
I think
altogether?
there's no chance that Trevor and I aren't doing something together at some point in the
Yeah.
future. And I'm sure that the people who remain subscribed to the channel will learn what that is when it happens for sure.
We'll be back in front of some microphones before too long. Maybe there will be another viral word game that comes up that will be so alluring that it will draw us back. Who knows?
I want to know if you're going to play the Wordle still. Are you taking a break or?
Okay, so that is a good question. That is a very good question, Tracy. And I feel like symbolically, what I would like to do, we finish on the 5th, and then my birthday starts on the 11th. It also ends on the 11th. I wish that it went the rest of the month. I think I'm going to take a break between the end of the show and my birthday.
But you're going to play on your birthday, right?
Yeah, as kind of like just a little treat to myself. I think really what's happening on my birthday is I'm taking my kid to go see Frozen on Ice.
Yay!
But maybe like just my moment that day will be to sort of meditatively and meaningfully, without the goal of content creation, to sit down and do the Wordle again, like a normal player.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to, I do intend to continue playing Wordle, maybe not on like a strict everyday basis, although I could still see myself, pulling it up once a day, because how long does it really take? I'm looking forward to seeing how my relationship with the game develops and evolves now that, like Dylan said, we're not mining it for content, We're going to be able to have a much more casual relationship with Wordle, which I'm looking forward to.
And it's been a full year, correct?
That's right.
That you've been doing this?
Yeah, tomorrow it will be.
Wow.
Tomorrow it will be.
Congratulations, you did it.
Thank you.
Oh, and I also want to say that my favorite moment in the last 3 months was when you got syrup in one.
That was wild. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Because it was also magical. I mean, it was like you saw that word that day, and that's the only reason you played it.
The crazy thing is that, not everybody has a podcast about Wordle, so we'd never know this, but there's probably that kind of stuff is happening every day, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Like somebody probably woke up this morning and saw the word trend, and they were like, hey, that's a 5-letter word. That's what I'll play as my opening gambit in Wordle today. And that person got it in one.
And then they probably shared it with all of their friends, and then some of them were like, nah, maybe they Googled. I bet they didn't really get a hole in one. I bet they Googled it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm sad. I'd like this to go on and on, but I can't really think of any other reason that we continue to do this, Trevor. I think we're going to check this one off now.
I think it's nice that we're going to be able to tie a bow on this, and we'll have a whole little complete thing that we can look back on. And this was a great way to wrap it up at the end.
And there's one more show tomorrow. I'm going to be able to hear one more show.
Yep, the big series finale.
And it's going to be special because it's going to be not special. It's going to be me and Trevor doing what we've always done.
Playing the Wordle.
And shutting this thing down together.
Well, I hope you guys will stay in touch in some way or other. Write me anytime, tweet me anytime.
And I hope that our listeners stay in touch.
That's right. And one way they could do that is by sending us an email at wordlefriends@gmail.com. They could also find the show on TikTok or Twitter at Wordle Friends. And if they're watching on YouTube, I highly recommend that they subscribe to the channel, click the bell to get notifications, and leave us some comments.
But for now, and for always, I've been Dylan Flynn.
I've been Trevor Ickrath.
I've been Tracy Bennett.
And we'll see you back here tomorrow on the final ever episode of the show where friend is a 5-letter word.
This has been a production of
The Lighthouse Keepers Company.
Culture illuminated.